Hi, my name is Steph. I'm a physio working within haemophilia, and the following video will just work on some exercises to improve your balance and strength. So with that, starting any new exercise program, if you're unsure, just check with your GP or local haemophilia centre, ask the physio for any tips. For the balance class, you'll just need a little bit of space, a chair maybe to balance and hold on to, and you can wear shoes or not, depending on how comfortable your ankles feel. So let's get on with the exercises. So welcome to the warm-up. The following exercises should just loosen your body up before we get on with the balance exercises. So feet to begin with. So bring your toes wide, heels behind, and we're just going to rock our weight forward and back. So again, forward and back. And again, forward and back. Now we're going to transfer the weight across to big toe and little toe, across to the other corner and back to your heel. So keep moving around corner to corner. And then we're going to change direction, so opposite direction. Keep going. And we'll do one more. And coming back to that start position. So check that you've got equal weight, big toe, little toe and heel. Your knees are just soft, hands up onto the top of your pelvis. And imagine the top of your pelvis is like a bucket. I want you to tip water out of the front of the bucket and then out of the back of the bucket. So rocking forward and back. So forward and back, and find that mid position. So you've got a gentle curve in the small of your back, core on, your ribs are down, shoulders wide and stretching up through the neck. So we'll now warm up the upper body. So we'll start with a shoulder roll. We're going to scoop down to the side, big circle up and around. So again, shoulder roll. Scoop down, big circle up and around. And as you're doing this, try and keep the knees parallel as you bend. And we'll do one more. So shoulder roll, scoop down, big circle up and around. Now the other side. So shoulder roll, scoop down, big circle up and around. And again, shoulder roll, scoop down, big circle up and around. So again, trying to keep your knees parallel as you bend, just as far as your ankles and knees will allow. And we'll do last one. Good. And coming back around up to that start position. So just give your shoulders a little roll. So we'll come on to dumb waiter now. So elbows in, palms up. Again, just as far as your arms will allow. We're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, hands wide. So breathing in and out. So you should feel the shoulder blades just gently glide down your back and keep trying to pull up tall through your middle, stretching up through the top of your head. Now we're going to go hands wide and stretch, back and replace. And again, breathing out to stretch, back and replace. Breathing out to stretch and back and replace. We'll do one more. And stretch. This time we're going to keep our hands there. We're going to take a breath in. And as you breathe out, we're just going to rotate and come back to the start position. Again, breath in. As you breathe out, rotate, come back to the start position. So as you keep on trying to do this, keeping that weight equal on your big toe, little toe and heel, keeping your pelvis square, and try and just feel that stretch in the upper back. One more. And coming back up, just give those shoulders a roll. Well done. So this next exercise is called the balance series. So we'll start with our feet hip distance apart. We'll take a breath in. As you breathe out, bending your knees, float the hands forward, transfer the weight onto your toes, lift and replace. So you're breathing out, breathing in and breathing out. So concentrate on pulling up through your middle. Try and keep that balance, equal weight, big toe, little toe and heel. Keeping going, doing well. Keeping those knees parallel. Good, and we'll do one more. And then we're going to change direction. So this time we're going to come up onto our tiptoes, bend the knees, heels down, standing back up. So up on your tiptoes, bend the knees, heels down, standing up. So keeping going. So just move as far as you can with your range in your ankles or knees. Last few. Good. And we'll make this the last one. Up on your tiptoes, bend your knees, heels down, and standing back up. Well done. So the next exercise, we're going to challenge our balance again. So feet hip distance apart. We're going to pull up through your middle. Think about those ribs down, collarbones wide, and stretching tall. So standing here, we're going to just rotate the head to one side, coming back, rotating to the other. Now, if you feel a bit unsteady, you can always bring a chair just to hold on to and help that balance. Coming back to that midpoint. So now we're going to try and close our eyes. So closing those eyes, feeling that weight, big toe, little toe and heel. Have your hands out if you need a bit of balance. And don't worry if you sway a little bit, that's fine. Just trying to hold that balance, putting up through your middle. A few more seconds. And relaxing back down, well done. So that felt okay. Let's come into a step stance. So imagine you're taking a step, just get that weight equal front and back foot. Again, core on, we'll try rotating our heads to begin with. Again, so nice and steady, rotating that head. Try not to whip your head around too quickly. If you're feeling dizzy, just do a smaller movement. Or if you need a bit of balance, hold on to that chair. We'll go one more time. Good, holding that good position and coming back to that midpoint. So now try closing your eyes again. Have those hands out if you need a bit of balance or onto that chair. And don't worry if you sway a little bit, that's fine, that's your body just trying to adjust and maintain that position. So putting up through that middle, putting out through the top of that head, good. And opening those eyes. Now, if that felt okay, try bringing your one foot in front of the other. Now, this is tricky, so don't worry if it feels too unsteady, just stick to the tandem. Again, I'm checking that you've got equal weight front and back foot. So core on, again, just rotating round. And you'll feel that your feet are flicking back and forth a little bit more. Have those hands out for a little bit of balance. Onto that chair if you need. Good, and coming back. Now, if you're feeling confident, closing those eyes and see how that feels. So arms out for a little bit of balance. You'll feel that your feet are flicking back and forth. Sway if you can. And again, just managing as much as those ankles and knees will allow. Good, opening those eyes. So we'll try with the other foot forward. So tandem, semi-tandem, so in that step position, weight equal front and back foot, pulling up through your middle, rotating that head to start with. Now you may find that one side feels a lot easier than the other, but practicing this. This is a good one to practice while you're cleaning your teeth, waiting for the kettle to boil. And coming back to that mid position, try closing those eyes now. Again, hands out if you need a bit of balance, or resting your hand on that chair, feeling that sway back and forth. Good, a few more seconds, opening those eyes. And now if that feels comfortable, going into that tandem stance again. So core on, pulling up through your middle. Again, just nice and gently turning that head. Just as far as you feel you've got control. Keeping that middle drawn in. Good, and now standing there, try closing those eyes. And again, just be aware how much your feet are gripping, your toes gripping the floor. Putting up through that middle. Good, another few seconds. Well done, opening those eyes and coming back to that start position. Well done. So the next set of exercises is a little bit more dynamic balance exercise, so a little bit more movement. So we're going to shift our weight onto one side, core on. Again, if you need a chair just for a little bit of balance, have that nearby. Pulling up through the middle, and we're just going to circle the foot. So you can either circle the foot keeping in contact with the floor, or you can try and lift. So again, working that balance, putting up through your middle, and we're going to change direction. So pulling up through the middle, trying to get that balance, hands out if you need a bit of more balance support. And then we're going to come into opposite arm and leg swing, as if you're walking. Opposite arm and leg swing. Good. And coming back to that start position. We're going to go to the other side. So shifting the weight, pulling up through your middle, circles to begin with. Arms out if you need a bit of balance, holding onto that chair. You can lift your foot. Good, and changing direction. So pulling up through nice and tall. And then we'll come into opposite arm and leg swing as if you're walking. Trying to pull up through that middle, keep your balance. Good, and coming back to that start position, well done. So we're now going to challenge our balance again. Imagine you're walking on a straight line. So imagine a beam. So trying to get one foot in front of the other, have your hands out for a little bit of balance. Focus on that spot on the floor, and then try reversing. Now this is a tricky one, you can't see where you're going. And then coming forward again. So just as close to that line as you can manage. Good, and then coming back. So pulling up through your middle, using that big toe for a little bit of balance, and we'll do one more. So arms out, you can be close to a wall, just tapping onto a wall if that helps. And last set, and coming back to that start position. Well done. So the next exercise is challenging our stepping ability, and it's called the Foursquare step test. So imagine in front of you, you've got a grid with 4 squares. We're going to step forward into one square, step sideways, stepping back, and to the start position. Then we're going to reverse. So stepping sideways, forwards, sideways, and back. And I want you to keep going, alternating the direction, but gradually increasing the speed. So your ability, increasing the speed that you're rotating around, keeping going. And you may find that one direction is a little bit more challenging than the other. Backwards often is trickier. Keeping going. Do a few more. Speeding up, but again, keeping going. And you may find that one direction is a little bit more challenging than the other. Keeping going. A bit quicker. And we'll do one last one. Well done. So this is the last of the balance exercises. So I now want you to imagine you've got a clock face around you. You're stood in the middle of the clock. You've got 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 and 9. And I want you to tap with one foot as far as you can to touch that number. So we'll start with the right leg. We're going to tap to 12 o'clock. And coming back, then out to 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, keeping to the same leg, we're going to do 8 o'clock, coming back, crossing over to do 10 o'clock, and coming back to the start position. We're going to change to the other side. So we're going to do 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock, coming to 4 o'clock, stretching over to do 2 o'clock and coming back to the start position. So now I'm going to shout out a random number and I want you to tap to it. So 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and coming back to the start position. So now instead of just tapping your foot, I want you to think about actually stepping, transfer the weight and come back. So we'll do 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and coming back. Well done. Well done, we've finished all the balance exercises now, and you can practice this video, single exercises or the whole thing together. So just to finish off, we're going to run through a few stretches for these lower limbs. So turning around, we're going to start with a calf stretch. So bringing your feet into a step position, keeping that back knee straight, just transferring your weight forward so you can feel the stretch at the front or the back of that calf. You can balance holding onto that wall or chair, but trying to stretch a little bit further. Feeling that stretch, try and stretch in a little bit further if you can. And with all stretches, try to hold for a minimum of 15 seconds, up to 30 seconds if you can. So on every out breath, see if you can stretch a little bit more again. Well done, and we're going to change sides. So the opposite foot back, again feet parallel, stretching forward, keeping that back knee straight. Again, holding onto a wall or chair if you need a little bit of balance, stretching forward. So keeping that core on, lunging forward a little bit more. And again, as ever, depending on how mobile your ankles are, will depend how far you can stretch. So holding that for a few more seconds. Good, and standing back up. Give those legs a little shake. So we'll come into hamstring stretch. So now bring that heel forward, sitting back into that stretch. Again, you can hold on for a bit of balance. You're feeling the stretch in the hamstring, back of the leg. On every out breath, see if you can stretch down a little bit further. Focus on a spot in front just to help that balance. Holding that stretch, see if you can come in a little bit further. Good, last few seconds. And coming back up, swapping legs. So opposite foot forward, sitting back into that heel, keeping the knee nice and straight. Holding onto a chair or wall for a bit of balance. Every out breath, sinking it in a little bit further. Feeling the stretch at the back of the thigh. And again, a little bit further. A little bit further again. Good, and coming back up, give those legs a shake. So last stretch will be our quads, muscles at the front of the thigh. So again, hold on to a wall or chair. We're going to grab the foot, heel in towards your bottom. You're trying to get your knee down towards the floor, feeling the stretch at the front of that thigh. Now, if you can't grab hold of your foot, you can use a chair, resting your foot onto the chair. Again, as long as you're feeling the stretch at the front of the thigh, that's great. Think about pushing that hip forward, holding the stretch. So either grabbing hold of your foot or resting onto a chair. Last few seconds. Good. And coming back, we're going to swap sides. So again, holding on, grabbing hold of your foot. Again, you can use that chair, putting that knee down towards the floor, hip forward, stretch at the front of that thigh. If you want a bit of a challenge, you can not hold on. Keeping that core on, putting up through your middle, holding that stretch, knee down towards the floor. And coming back up. Well done. Give those legs a shake. So that's the end of the video. Well done.